Welcome back to Winging It with Wingo. I'm super excited to have our guest today, none other, the guru himself. He's been around sports longer than any NFL GM, any NFL head coach, Drew Rosenhaus. So
yeah, 37th year as an agent.
I'm super
Long journey,
excited.
Started in 1988, and here we are. Still going strong.
All right, well, we'll kind of get right back into it. We'll go into the history originally, right? Went to the University of Miami, got your law degree at Duke, and then wanting to be a sports agent. Take me back to that history of you just deciding to, have that factor of being a sports agent, and then just that history of going to the University of Miami and Duke.
Yeah. My background is unique. I grew up in North Miami. My parents were friendly with several guys on the Dolphins. Mm-hmm. As an early teenager, I became very interested in these guys that would come to my house and hang out, and then I'd watch them play in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Heard them talk about injuries and their agents and negotiations. 12, 13 years old, I'm like, man,
sounds kind of interesting.
I'd really like to do that. Both my grandfathers were lawyers. I was thinking I'd be a lawyer all along. And I get to college, and I do what my parents did. I made friends with all the guys on the football team. Mm-hmm. I happened to be at the University of Miami from 1984 to 1987. They might have lost
pretty good years.
2 games.
Pretty good years to be there.
And they were a powerhouse. And so I'm sitting in class with guys like Michael Irvin, Benny Blades, Brian Blades, Brett Perriman, Vinny Testaverde, Bernie Kosar, so many of the great ones. And I became friendly with a lot of them. And one of my best friends was Michael Irvin. And Michael and I developed a real friendship. And during this friendship, I expressed to him I wanted to become an agent. Mm-hmm. And I wound up graduating from the University of Miami in 3 years. I did it a year early so I could get to law school and time it up when my first year of law school ended in conjunction with Michael Irvin getting drafted. So Irvin got me a job with his agent after my first year of law school. So I spent the summer interning for his agent, and I went back to law school, year 2, and I'm like, I think I can do this. Mm-hmm. 22 years old, and I started recruiting a lot of the guys in that area of Duke Law School.
That you knew, that you were around, built relationships with.
Yep, and I got lucky. One of my clients was a player named Robert Massey. He went to a small school called North Carolina Central, which was like Duke in Durham, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. Robert was my first official client. Robert wound up getting drafted in the 2nd round. And we had a really cool plan. We wanted to promote him. We wanted to publicize him. So I went to ESPN. I was a one-man shop in these days. No marketing department.
Yeah.
Me and Jason.
Social media wasn't even there yet.
Jason wasn't even agent yet. This is the 1989 draft. So Massey and we pitch a feature to ESPN to come down and do a special on him. Since he's from a Division II school, not many guys are top prospects from a Division II. Yeah. At the time, all-black college, historically black university in North Carolina Central, and they do it. And all of a sudden, I pitched the idea of ESPN, you're broadcasting the draft. How about coming to my dorm room with me and Massey and watch Massey get picked? And they did it. So the 1989 draft, all of my buddies that I recruited, that I went to school with at turn on the draft, and they see me with Robert Massey. Yeah,
there was a spark from there.
Naz Worthen, who was a 3rd-round pick from North Carolina State. David Braxton, a 2nd-round pick from Wake Forest. I had a bunch of local guys that gave me a shot. Then the following year, I started signing Hurricanes. Graduated in 1990. Went back to my stomping grounds, signed my first Hurricanes in the draft, Bernard Clark and Jimmy Jones. The rest was history.
Yeah. So, you talked a little bit about your brother, Jason, obviously, to now, right? Negotiating over $15 billion worth of contracts. I thought it was funny when I found out you don't do any caffeine, any energy drinks, and you're all over the place. That, the nickname of the shark that never sleeps. But then when football season comes around, right, you got the Monday night games, the Thursday night games, the occasional Friday, Saturday college football, and the Sunday night games. Take me through kind of what a week looks like, when you're traveling for all these kinds of things.
Well, we can use last week, for example. Last Monday night, I went to the game, which was at Chicago, Minnesota, in Chicago. I'm right back at it on Thursday. Thursday night football, Green Bay and Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Friday night, I was at the Indiana game in Bloomington. Saturday, I went to the Hurricanes and the University of South Florida. Sunday, I went to the Dolphins game against the Patriots. Monday night, I went to the Monday night game in Houston against Tampa. And right back at it.
Yeah, week after week after week.
Here we go.
That's how it is during the season.
You know what? I enjoy it immensely. I love to help my clients and their families. One of the best things about this profession, Derek, as you transition into it, is the ability to help young men and their families. What a great feeling to help people accomplish their dreams, to help them reach their potential in the field of professional football, in life after football.
Absolutely.
In marketing and building their brand. It's so rewarding to see a family go from humble beginnings. Let's use Abdul Carter as an example.
Yeah.
I'm with Abdul and his family at the draft in Green Bay, and one phone call was worth $45 million.
Changed your life. Changed your life.
One phone call. Being there for that moment, seeing him celebrate with his family, knowing how hard he worked, how hard his family and the sacrifices that they made to work with him and help him get there. You got to love it, and you got to put everything. Who needs coffee when you have the motivation of helping people that are 1 in a billion from a talent standpoint, and their work ethic and their drive and their commitment? It's a blessing to do this for 37 years, especially when you consider that I was just a little kid. Was a huge fan.
Yeah.
That worked hard and really converted in education. There was nothing special, no advantages. Anybody watching this could follow my lead. It was just a matter of building relationships, going to a great law school like Duke, getting a heck of an education, working hard at Miami and graduating in 3 years, but nothing more than grinding and operating with integrity, having a good heart, and doing right by the people that you work for, learning a profession, and then doing everything you can to get better at it. I haven't changed from the guy that got into this business because he wanted to work for his friends. I mean, the same spirit that I had in wanting to help Michael Irvin, who was my friend first, and wanting to help Robert Massey, and wanting to help Robert Bailey. You can't see it on your podcast, but there I am in 1991 with my brother Jason and Randall Hill, and you can see the joy. That's
the excitement. See the same thing today.
That's real.
Yeah.
When people watch that TV, it looked like I won the lottery. And really I did, because it was the beginning. I knew it was the beginning of a career that I really wanted to do, that I felt I could really be good at and really make a difference.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing challenge. Every day is a new challenge, literally.
It's the journey. Part of the journey.
Every day is a challenge, Derek. There is no easy way to be a part of the NFL. It's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of adversities. People who think that this is just an easy job where we negotiate multi-million-dollar contracts just don't understand the amount of work that it takes. Number one, to sign a guy as a new client. It's so competitive, especially with NIL.
Absolutely.
Number two, what it takes to hang on to a client Number 3, the demands of the job. You got to really perform. There's no excuses. There's no margin of error.
Yep.
You've got to get it done. If your client entrusts you, you've got to be able to help deliver, get them ready for the draft, promote them to the NFL.
So many things that goes into it.
Work well with the teams, do a great job with negotiations. Once they're in the league, help them manage injuries, their relationship with coaches, their development as a player, as a person, help them develop off the field with their marketing, their branding, their public relations, media relations, community
build a relationship with the families, everything. There's so many things that goes into it.
Absolutely. Developing life after football. That's, I think, what I like most about this job is the challenges that are inherent with it.
And then seeing it all at the end kind of pay off for that player himself.
It's a nonstop journey. We've all every year we've got great clients who retire that say, I'm done.
Yep.
I had a great career. I'm ready to hang it up. I've played X amount of years, or whether it's an injury. And that relationship will transition to life after football. It doesn't end. But then we'll sign a new client, like Abdul Carter or Josh Simmons. And, you're on the journey with those guys, TJ Sanders and Elijah Arroyo, and just, really work hard through the different phases of your clients' careers. There are some guys that are just trying to hang on at this point. There are other guys that, are on practice squad. Then you got some of the best clients in football that are superstars.
Yep.
You've got other guys who are looking to negotiate huge contract extensions.
Different for each person.
Every client's unique. Every challenge is different. And every day brings something unique to it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the amazing part of it. That's almost like the thrill. So I got to ask you, I actually didn't know until, I started working with you guys, and my mom kind of called me. She's like, did you know that, Drew was a part of, the Jerry Maguire movie? And that was one of her favorite movies of all time. So I got to ask you, what was that like, kind of being behind the scenes around with Tom Cruise, and then them being to, put that image of what it's like to be a young sports agent? Yeah,
it was a real thrill. I was a very, very young agent in my 20s, and had an opportunity to work with an all-time great actor in Tom Cruise, a very prominent director in Cameron Crowe. Just the ability to contribute and give them a feel for what a young up-and-coming agent was like in the real world.
Yep.
To see me in action, if you will, to give Cruise a real life agent that he could look at and learn mannerisms and whatnot. The other agents that they interviewed were very different than me. They were much older. They had been in the business decades longer than me. So I was really able to contribute a character that was young like Jerry Maguire, very close to his clients like Jerry Maguire and Rod Tidwell. And it was a real thrill for a young agent to be a part of it. I didn't realize at the time that I was affiliated with a movie that was really going to become iconic. To this day, people still watch it. Almost 30 years ago.
Yep.
And, I still have the picture of Tom Cruise somewhere in here where he says, hey, stop trying to look like me. Where is that thing? There it is, right there. Me and Tom Cruise on the set. We're both wearing our suits, our hair slicked back, and I'm not saying I look like Tom Cruise, but he did. And he was playing a joke that I was trying to look like him when he was really trying to look like me.
That's a good one. So that's great.
That was pretty cool that he sent that to me. But it was a great experience, man. And then I had an opportunity to work with Oliver Stone in a local production called Any Given Sunday. that included screen legends like Al Pacino, and Cameron Diaz, and Jamie Foxx, and James Woods, and so many other
two of the best
great actors. And Oliver Stone's a Hall of Fame director, so that was cool. It was a very different movie. It was more of a hard-hitting movie about the NFL, and they wanted to get my perspective on the business side of it. So I had a bit role in that, but
no, those two are the two most iconic movies around, and it's cool to.
I've had a lot of fun, man. You know, I've enjoyed the great players that I work with. I'm really excited that I'm at a stage in my career where it can involve my family. You know, I've got a 9-year-old daughter, a 7-year-old daughter, a 4-year-old son, and a 2-year-old son, and it's awesome that they can go to the games. It's awesome that they can get to know our clients and their families. It's awesome that it is something that my wife Lisa and the kids can really share. And they love the journey.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
I bring them to a lot of games during the season. In the off season, we have a lot of clients who come over.
And that's definitely pretty amazing for them. That was honestly, that was my next one, was basically how is it like being able to bring your family around this, and they're so supportive, and you know what you do on a day-to-day basis. And then do they even realize, you know, some of the guys they're meeting, and you know, some of the iconic, you know, legends in the NFL and the sports world, and just kind of being able to be a part of it, be around it 24/7.
You know, for me, it was a huge thrill when they come over the house and hang out, and I think the kids get that same charge, but now it's becoming the norm for them to hang out with Tyreek Hill or Phil Collins or, you know, Kyron Williams or, you know, Aaron Jones. You know, these guys may be NFL stars, but to them, they're, you know, it's Tyreek, Nico, it's Jalen Carter.
That's pretty cool.
That's their buddy that they go see in Apopka at his football camp, and his mom, Tony. It's his family, you know, to them.
That's definitely cool for them.
Abdul and his family, they just know his dad is big, and they love Abdul, and, you know, it's great that I can involve them. And, you know, they're traveling with me this weekend. We're going back on the road to, you know, in Indiana, Illinois game for recruiting, and then we're going to the Giants and the Chiefs.
Oh yeah!
So they'll be there for that, and it's fun that I can involve them. It is very rewarding to travel with the family, but it's also a lot of work.
Definitely.
Going to a football game, navigating that, seeing all your clients, pre-game, post-game, is very challenging. It's a new level of challenge, even when I partner with my wife to do it with 4 young kids. So it definitely is a new wrinkle to the job. I'm a parent now. Remember, for my first 3 decades in this business, I was pretty much solo, you know, and now my 4th
now you got an army behind you.
Yeah, really. You know, as I get into, you know, my 37th year in the business, these last 9 years or so, got a family. So it's pretty cool, but at the same time, a different challenge. That's why I'm glad you're on board. You know, to help me, you know, partner up, and you've got a great team. Absolutely. You know, with guys like yourself and Robert Bailey, and of course my brother Jason and Barry Wolfman and the whole team. Just to name a few, but it's a terrific pleasure for me to work with good people.
Yeah,
like
absolutely. So we'll kind of transition to the last part of it, right? It's more of the rapid fire type of questions. Just kind of real quick. Have you ever had a favorite client that you ever represented, or someone that you kind of just had the best relationship with?
You know, you don't want to ever have a favorite client, because, you know, you just don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
If I say one guy's my favorite, how about all the other guys? I will just say, if you ask me who the most entertaining guy to work with, Rob Gronkowski would be up there. You know, Rob was a real character, but in a good way. And I really enjoyed working with Rob and enjoy our relationship to this day. So he's the guy that comes to mind, but you can't have favorites. I mean, obviously, the Hall of Famers, the Warren Sapps, the Zach Thomases, the Edgerrin James, the T.O.s, guys that you work with that are Hall of Famers, they stand out for a lot of reasons, but I've represented hundreds of guys, and every one of them
come with something
special
new,
to me. You know, you come in my office here, and they can't see it on our camera, but, you know, there's a story in every one of these pictures. and there's a relationship there, and there's been countless. And every one of them means a lot to me.
Yep, definitely. All right, so on to the next one. Your inspiration for you, something that's, a person that's always inspired to you, who you've looked up to the most, or who a mentor, someone you always look to for advice.
You don't have to be my dad. My dad passed away 3 years ago, but he was really instrumental in my development. I'd say, along with him, it was my Taekwondo instructor. His name is Young Sudo. And he passed away as well, but he was my instructor and my dear friend for most of my life. Helped me to become a 4th degree black belt in Taekwondo. And I learned a lot from him in general about philosophy and work hard and toughness and discipline, things of that nature. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. All right, so throughout all the decades, right, you've been to so many games, college football games, NFL games. Have there ever been one that stands out to you that's just, this was the best game that I ever went to triple overtime or some crazy things that kind of happened?
It's a blur. Remember, I'm focused on our clients and less on the game. But they call it the Miracle in Miami, and it was about, I don't know, maybe half a dozen years ago. New England was down here. New England had won the game, basically. They were just kicking the ball off to run out the clock. Time expires. The Dolphins get the ball.
Oh, yeah.
On a kick return, a number of laterals, and they wind up winning the game. I'd say, maybe that wasn't the best game, but maybe
definitely one you always remember.
That stands out just because I'm on my way to go commiserate with my clients and even see the play. I'm walking to the parking lot to talk to the guys on the Dolphins, the guys on the Patriots.
You hear the stadium just going crazy.
Stadium went crazy. I'm like, there's no way. So that really jumped out at me.
That's pretty cool. All right, if there's any athlete, around all sports, not just football, that you could sign, any athlete around all sports that you had a chance to work with, who would it be? Like, who's someone you wish, I'd love to be able to work with this person of any sport, not just football?
I'd say it probably would have been Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I think Brady is the best NFL player
I agree.
I was ever around. So, and I got to know him through Gronk and countless teammates. But I would say if there had been one guy that I didn't represent that I would have really enjoyed working with, it would have been Tom Brady.
Yeah, definitely. That's someone that I've always, looked up to as a kid, growing up through that era and everything like that. So that's pretty cool. All right. If you were not an agent today, what do you think something else that you'd be doing?
I was on a path of being a lawyer. And I could really see myself as a trial lawyer, somebody that, either that or a broadcaster.
Yep.
I studied broadcast journalism as an undergrad, and I moonlight with it every week. I have a segment on the local Fox affiliate in Miami, and I have for decades now. So to give you one answer, I think I probably would have enjoyed being a broadcaster in some capacity.
Yeah, still have a way to stay around sports. All right, well, you consistently talk about, always outworking your opponents, right? Always doing more, setting the example for, other people around the company. And, you don't always just do that for me. You do it for so many other people. So, no, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk it up with me.
Great job.
Yeah, appreciate it.